Namaste and good morning, everyone. Let's do some prayers first. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parbrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Om Bhur Bhavaswaha, Tatsavitra Varenayam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat, Asto Ma Sadgamya, Tamso Ma Jyotirgamya, Mrityurma Amritam Gamya. Om Sehna Bhavtu, Sehna Bhunaktu, Saviryam Karvavahi, Tejasvi Navadhitamastu, Ma Vidvishavahi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Last week we talked about certain principles. And if we remember those principles, we can live a disciplined life. In today's talk, I'm going to give you a little bit more information about disciplined life. There is a word in the Upanishads, Shreyam. Shreyam. Okay. And opposite of Shreyam is Priyam. Or you can say Priyas and Shreyas. So if you want to have a disciplined life, a yogic life, you got to practice Shreyas. You can call it a delayed gratification. And this is a pathway to greater freedom and satisfaction. It's about mastering our impulses by delaying gratification. It's not about denying pleasure, but about achieving a higher form of fulfillment. That kind of a fulfillment which is aligned with our values and also long-term goals. Delayed gratification involves a strategic postponement of immediate desires to gain more significant and enduring rewards. It's about making choices that might not offer instant satisfaction, but lead to lasting well-being and personal growth. This principle is particularly relevant in our modern culture of instant everything. Where to ability to wait, to hold off to something better is a rare and valuable skill. The practice of delayed gratification is also about maintaining mastery over our desires. Being enslaved to fleeting pleasures could lead to a loss of freedom. And a person becomes captive to the whims and the impulses. Instead, by exercising restraint and choosing our actions based on reason and foresight, we cultivate a life not just of temporary pleasures, but of lasting tranquility and contentment. Implementing delayed gratification in everyday life can start with simple habits. It might mean saving money rather than spending it impulsively, or choosing a healthy meal over fast food, junk food, or even dedicating time to study or practice a skill instead of immediate leisure activities. You can see that each of these choices reinforce the practice of prioritizing long-term benefit over the short-term ease or pleasure. The benefits of this practice are extensive. Even the research in psychology supports this view, linking delayed gratification to better outcomes in cases could be in our career, in education, health, or even personal relationships. So people who can postpone immediate gratification are often better at handling stress, reaching their goals, and living healthier, more fulfilling life. So we got to cultivate this principle if you want to live a disciplined yogic life. Another thing you need to do is ignore the naysayers. We live in a society live with people. People will often tell you that it's not going to work. Ignore them. This concept goes beyond merely not listening to negative feedback. It's about cultivating a mental resilience that allows you to remain steadfast in your convictions and also focused on your goals, even in the face of doubt and skepticism from others. The approval or disapproval of others is outside our control. We cannot convince everybody. So that's why it's not something to rely on for personal validation or guidance. We should focus only on actions and opinions within our own control. Because the true peace comes from within. And it should not be shaken by external judgments. It's not about being dismissive of others, but about maintaining an internal locus of control. It encourages us to filter out noise that doesn't serve our higher purposes or align with our values. In practical terms, ignoring naysayers is crucial in our modern world. Why? Because opinions are plentiful and criticism is often just a click away. It involves recognizing that while constructive feedback can be valuable for growth, baseless criticism should not deter us from our path. This distinction is vital. Evaluate the source and the intent of the criticism we receive. Think about it. Where the criticism is coming from? Is it well-meaning? Is the person well-informed? Does it align with our core values? Moreover, practicing this principle means building a personal philosophy, robust enough to withstand external pressures. It's about being confident in your decisions and actions, not out of arrogance, but out of a deep understanding of your own values and objectives. Stay true to yourself, which is both rare and powerful. Saying no to naysayers, we are not only protecting our mental space, but also actively choosing where to invest our emotional energy. It's about not letting external noise distract us from our internal dialogue. The one that truly shapes our lives. Another principle which will help you to live a disciplined life is find wise people to emulate. This concept is rooted in the belief that much of our learning and personal development comes from observing and reflecting on the lives of those who have mastered virtues. The virtues which we aspire to develop. Emulating wise individuals isn't about copying them, but about learning from their example to enhance our own character and also judgments. Admire the qualities of others, both past and present. That's why we celebrate the special days, the birthdays of those avatars. When we celebrate Krishna Janmashtami, think about the character and the values. Or when we celebrate Ramnami, or any other great day we celebrate, this is the purpose, to know more about their lives. Find a way to internalize their strengths and virtues. Because this wisdom isn't just theoretical knowledge, but it is a practical guide to living well, which could be best understood through the actions of those who have applied these principles effectively. What did we learn from the life of Bhagwan Ram? जान जाए पर वचन न जाए. King Harishchandra, Prahlad, Dhruv. There's so many examples. Our scriptures are filled with those great stories. Or even not just in the past, in today's world also, there are great leaders. Choosing whom to emulate is about recognizing those who embody the yogic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These could be historical figures, contemporaries, or even characters from stories and literature. Whichever character speaks to you, who demonstrates qualities such as resilience, ethical integrity, and rational thinking. The key is to look for individuals whose lives provide a roadmap for facing challenges with grace and determination. Applying this principle today involves a thoughtful selection of role models whose values align with our aspirations. Remember that it is about more than just admiration. It's not just putting somebody on the pedestal. It's about critically observing how these individuals navigate their lives, how they made decisions, and handle adversity. This practice encourages us to ask ourselves, what about this person's approach or mindset? Can I incorporate into my own life to improve my conduct and choices? Moreover, emulating wise individuals helps bridge the gap between abstract philosophical concepts and everyday actions. It provides a concrete example of how these principles can be lived out. This not only makes these ideals more accessible, but also more compelling. As we see the tangible impact of these values in the lives of these people we respect. We are seeking out those wise people and we want to emulate them. We are engaging in a very dynamic form of learning when we do that. And that's how we see the improvement in ourselves. It is a proactive approach to personal development, which really reinforces our commitment to growth and excellence by surrounding ourselves with the influence of virtuous individuals. We set a high standard for our own behavior and decisions, propelling ourselves toward becoming the wise individuals we seek to emulate. Another principle which I would like you to incorporate while developing this disciplined life: never play the victim. Think about it. This concept involves a profound understanding of personal responsibility and a commitment to self-mastery, rather than succumbing to a victim mentality. Victim mentality is, poor me. Somebody else did it to me. Not taking the responsibility. We got to see ourselves not as a passive recipient of life's hardships. We should seize control over our perceptions and reactions. This empowerment is central to the principle that our happiness and peace of mind are determined more by our internal state rather than by external events. The idea here isn't to deny the difficulties or injustices that one might face. Rather, it is about shifting the focus from what happens to us to how we respond to what happened. Every external event comes with a choice. How will we let this define us? By refusing to the play of victim, we reject the idea that our emotional well-being is at the mercy of external circumstances. This is a liberating realization that opens the door to greater personal growth, also resilience. In practicing this principle, we start by observing our habitual responses to the challenging situations. What comes to our mind right away when some difficult times come? Do we immediately look for external factors or others to blame? Do we spend our energy complaining about the situation rather than addressing it? Changing these patterns isn't about suppressing our feelings, but rather about understanding them more deeply and also redirecting our energies more constructively. So first we have to recognize it. What's really happening internally? Then with a calmer mind, we make the right decision. So it involves acknowledging our pains and disappointments, while also recognizing our capacity to move forward despite them. Moreover, this encourages us to see every obstacle as an opportunity to practice virtue and strengthen our character. This perspective is fundamentally proactive and very empowering. It transforms potential feelings of helplessness into a moments of choice where we can assert our agency. Each challenge becomes a test of our commitment to our values and an opportunity to demonstrate fortitude, which is a virtue, perseverance, and also resilience. These are the qualities we learn from the scriptures that they define the ideal by never playing the victim. We develop an inner fortress of calm and equanimity from which we can engage with the world more fully and freely. The last one I want to talk about is honestly review your day if you want to have a disciplined life, honestly. This practice isn't merely about recounting events, but involves a profound and reflective examination of our thoughts, our actions, and responses throughout the day. Okay, so last, when we got up, before we sleep, so it's not even 24 hours because we spend enough time sleeping. So waking hours, go back. Either mentally or you can write it down on a piece of paper if that helps. It's about discerning whether these behaviors aligning with our values and yogic virtues. And we are all familiar with the yogic virtues. There are two sections, yam and the niyams. And those virtues are stated there by Rishi Patanjali. Truthfulness, non-violence, helping others. Those virtues, you can call it wisdom, justice, courage, moderation. This introspective process is crucial because it serves as a feedback loop that helps us become more conscious of our actions and decisions. We got to pay attention in detail, positives as well as negatives. We should be aware of it. It's our life. The purpose of this daily review isn't to dwell on mistakes or to indulge in self-criticism, but to observe and adjust. Remember that. Because often I hear that it just gives a lot of pressure on me. But if we just change our mindset and we see why we are doing it, then there's no pressure. You're not criticizing yourself. You are knowing yourself, and we should know ourselves. It's about learning from each day's experiences and using that knowledge to refine oneself continuously. Use this technique as a way to ensure that you are performing your duties and also you are growing as a human being. We have a lot of responsibilities, but at the same time, the growth has to be there too, upward growth. Incorporating this practice into modern life can be incredibly beneficial because otherwise it's a fast pace life. We forget. We just get so bogged down. This practice encourages us to end each day with a moment of quiet reflection. During this time, you can ask yourself several key questions. How did I respond to challenges today? Did I act according to my principles? What could I have done better? Were there moments where I lost control? And why? Ask yourself. Reflecting on these questions helps you to develop greater self-awareness and guides you in living a more deliberate and intentional life. That's why yogi's life is. Moreover, this practice can foster a sense of peace and completion at the end of each day. It allows you to address any lingering thoughts or even stresses by confronting them directly, rather than carrying them into the next day. And according to the yogic philosophy, anything which is buried in there, it's not only the next day or next year, it can go into next life also. Because mind goes with us. Impressions go with the mind. More the gap of time, the less clear we will be. So we should complete each day properly. This can be especially powerful in our fast-paced world, where it's easy to lose track of our deeper goals. There are too many daily distractions and pressures. So taking some time out and reflecting the day, spending some time with yourself, that is also a discipline. By honestly reviewing your day, you engage in a form of self-accountability, which can be gentle yet rigorous. It is about recognizing your strengths and acknowledging areas for improvements, but without judgment. This habit builds resilience and wisdom as it teaches you to be both the student and the teacher in your own life's journey. Constantly learning from your own experiences and striving to embody the virtues that define a yoga anukul life. Over time, this practice can transform not only how you view your days, but also how you live your life. Aligning more closely each day with the ideals you cherish. At the end, I would like to say that remember that every day is a new step towards mastering yourself. And with these principles, that's what we are doing. And this only we can do, nobody else can do it for us. This is for our journey, for our improvement. All these principles. So remember what we talked about last week and we talked about today, and see whether you can incorporate these principles to live a more yogic life. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaye Purnameva Vishishyate. Om Shanti 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 Om. Thank you very much.